them. Yes, we do. We need strategies. Strategies for living, that is.
You know, as long as I'm living, I like to have a strategy or two in my back pocket.
Yeah, you got them up your sleeve and in your back pocket and every place else you can.
Falling out everywhere.
Yeah.
Like a magician with cards of my
Exactly.
everything.
Exactly. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Welcome into another edition of our little program that we call Strategies for Living. And we're glad you're here with us. I'm Dr. David McMillan. She is Lauren Leon McMillan, psychotherapist, PLPC, that is. Mm-hmm. Do you ever, Lauren, feel, I know the answer to this question, so, you know.
Oh, okay.
Do you ever feel disconnected? I mean, do you just maybe scratch your head some days? You know, you feel so very in tune, connected with it. And then you wake up the next day, nothing's really changed, but you're just not feeling it.
Sure.
You have that?
Yeah. I think we all do.
I think you're
Absolutely.
right. I think you're right. You know, I mean, I think life can and does that to us. In fact, you know, that might be one of the reasons that we get to be here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, it may be that, you know, how to connect and then stay connected, right?
Well, and then without the experience of disconnect, we don't understand or fully appreciate, acknowledge the depth of connection we're capable of having.
Very true.
As well, right?
Very true. We live in this world of duality, like it or not.
Right.
You know, but you know, in terms of connecting, you gotta say, I mean, living in the world and just stepping back and looking at it, it's hard. It's hard to keep plugged in. It's hard to stay connected.
It is so interesting because in this day and age, we have probably the most ability to be in more than one way connected with each other, right?
Yeah.
There are more connections available and opportunities for connections than perhaps ever before.
Yeah.
And yet we all are still feeling on occasion, I think, and perhaps it's more than occasion, right? For all of us, we feel quite disconnected.
Yeah.
And I think especially from ourselves.
So if you can understand things like your true desires, your values, your emotions, then certainly you're going to feel connected. You're going to feel like, hey, I'm living an authentic life. My life is full. My life is fulfilling. We're going to talk today about, you know, it's a given that we all feel disconnected from time to time. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk today about some specific ways to reconnect, plug in again, reconnect with yourself. And, you know, some of the things that we're going to talk about, we talk about from time to time here on Strategies, but we may have some surprises for you today. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with us on Strategies for Living. And we appreciate our sponsors making it possible, the Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Learning RX and Pintail Roofing and the Balanced Life Wellness Center. Back in a moment, we're going to talk about ways to reconnect with yourself today here on Strategies.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
Hey, welcome in. Welcome into 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. We get disconnected. You know, it's just part of living life, I think, you know, to experience. Sometimes we just don't feel plugged in. Our emotions, our thoughts, our values. You know, maybe you're struggling to find meaning or a clear sense of purpose. What is my life about? And it leaves you feeling unsure, adrift out there, you know?
Yes.
And so we're going to talk about how can you plug back in? How can you reconnect with yourself? How many times do we say, you know, on this program, the most important relationship that we have, the relationship that sponsors every other relationship in our life, is the relationship that we have with ourselves. So we're going to talk about some practices, engaging in some practices. Some of them you're accustomed to. You've heard us talk about before.
Right.
Even though I don't know that we talk about them enough, even as much as we do talk about them.
Yeah, they're that important.
They are very, very important. But, you know, reconnecting with yourself involves taking in these practices, and all of the practices do have, as a common denominator, they encourage both reflection and introspection, if you will.
Yeah.
On your core,
Right.
on your core identity.
Which makes logical sense, right? I mean, if you're disconnected from self, in order to reconnect with self, in order to reconnect with anybody or anything, you spend time with them or it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is you want to reconnect with, you spend time and you observe and you get to know and you appreciate.
Yeah. You know, that word core, I was playing with it a bit yesterday, your core. We have a core identity. We have core beliefs.
Right.
CORE, central organizing, radiating energy. You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, we have certain beliefs that we hold, you know, and perhaps they got handed to us early. But for many of us, there are some beliefs that we hold very central, right?
Yes, right.
And very precious. I think it's important if we do that, if we certainly have those, that we examine those, you know, and make them ours. But, you know, we also have this, you know, because of those core beliefs, and perhaps out of those core beliefs, we have a core identity and values. And so how do you reconnect? How do you plug in, again, if you feel unplugged? Well, we talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, mindfulness, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know, we hear it a lot. And, you know, folks, let me tell you, this is not new age,
Woo-woo.
quote unquote, new age woo-woo, you know, psychobabble. This is real. And what is it, you might say? Okay, well, it's the practice of tuning in, of being aware, and simply being present in the moment with no judgment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like to think of it, of people watching from the inside, if that makes sense. You know, you take yourself to a place in your head or in yourself, and you have a seat on a bench.
Yep.
And you watch.
Yep.
You watch as the thoughts
Yep.
go by. You watch as the emotions come up and
Yep.
cause whatever fluctuations, sensations they may be causing in the sky of your life and your existence.
Yep.
You watch and you observe and maybe even get curious. Right? I wonder what's going on.
Hopefully you get curious.
Right. I wonder what's going on there. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Oh man, fear just blew in the door over there. I wonder what got all stirred up.
What stirred it up?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's that place, right, from your little people watching bench inside yourself.
Yeah.
That you get to observe from non-judgment. And that's how you get to know anyone, right? You watch them.
Yeah. And so that includes yourself. And so mindfulness is about taking that bench and, you can do it with your thoughts as a, for instance.
Yes.
Again, no judgment, but you just watch your thoughts. You take that position and you watch your thinking. And to do this is to realize, oh, wait a minute. I'm not those thoughts.
Right, because if you can watch it, you're clearly not
anything you can
those.
observe. I'm observing the chair that you're sitting in,
Right.
which lets me know I'm not that chair.
Right, right. And we can do that mentally and emotionally with thoughts and emotions, but we can also do it physically. We have great insight physically. Literal insight.
Right.
Right. Being able to see
I love
inside
that.
ourselves.
Inside.
Yeah. Being able to close your eyes and turn on your insight and just scan down your body and be aware of any sensations, any feelings without judgment. Just let them be.
There was a study done in India. It wasn't a huge study. It was 146 people, I think. But it explored mindfulness and how mindfulness relates to self-efficacy and self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
In other words, the belief in your ability to achieve your goals. So self-efficacy / self-esteem is an important thing because it
allows us to accomplish what we want to accomplish.
We're believing in us. And the researchers found that by following mindful actions, that was linked to higher self-esteem, higher self-efficacy, being more aware of your actions, being less reactive to your thoughts and your feelings, being non-judgmental about the inner experiences.
So important.
And being able to describe your experiences to whomever you would like and choose to describe them to. All of that is very, very powerful stuff to reconnect, and it's mindfulness. Yeah, practicing mindfulness. Shucks. All inspiring experiences. Seeking those out will help you reconnect. Some people are blessed enough where they belong to a church where they go and week after week they are all inspired.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful place. Hold on to that if you've got that. Connecting with yourself can sometimes mean looking beyond the small self to the greater. And that's
the larger, yeah. Once you recognize the larger connections, you become connected.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I kind of want to specify here, we're seeking out awe-inspiring experiences, not adrenaline rushing experiences.
No.
And we're not seeking them out necessarily in terms of going somewhere out there to find them.
Right.
Because I would challenge each one of us that if you look around, there are awe-inspiring events happening all around you and inside of you.
Absolutely.
The fact that you are alive, that you are breathing.
You're a miracle. We're all miracles.
Is awe-inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely. When
Once
we
you
really
consider
get
it.
mindful of it,
Yeah.
when we really tune into it.
It's so easy to die.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're here
Yeah. Yeah.
tells me that you have purpose in a life.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And think about there's research. This kind of research goes on. There's some research that was done in 2022 that suggested that all experiences of awe have profound effects on our physical health and our mental health. This particular study talked about through nature, through spiritual contemplation, through collective movement. Even music was studied. And, one of the things that you talk about some here with some regularity, and you know a little bit about it, is the neurophysiology. You know, awe can if we were hooked up,
Yeah.
and you presented or immersed into an awe-inspiring experience, your brain would light up.
Dopamine. And I would guess oxytocin as
Absolutely.
well. Because oxytocin is that connection, that relationship chemical. And
Yep.
so, and as we stated, awe is that state of feeling wonder, but also connected.
Yep.
And it can be so simple, right? I mean, we're not far if you go out and watch the sunset. Right? That's awe-inspiring.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if you're listening past sunset, go out and look at the stars.
Yeah.
That's awe-inspiring.
It is, and to contemplate, wow,
what is that?
Look at what I'm looking at.
Well, the fact that you're looking at light that's billions of years old.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
Just that in
Just
itself.
that in itself. What you're doing also is you're reducing self-focus. All has that unique ability
Yes.
to diminish the self-centered thoughts that many of us have, the concerns, the everyday stuff we get caught up in that disconnects us. And also gives us this heightened sense of meaning. Awe provides us this profound sense of purpose and meaning in life. It can shift our focus from the mundane, just the daily grind, to the larger, more meaningful aspects of our existence. Suddenly my little life, seems a whole lot bigger connected in with all that is.
Yeah,
That's
and-
awe-inspiring.
And it is all the time. You don't have to seek too far.
Yeah.
And once you start seeing, you'll see more and more of it.
It works that way. It really does work that way.
It's awesome.
Awesome. Oh, we're talking about ways to reconnect with yourself. We all feel disconnected from time to time. So how do you reconnect with yourself? Well, I guess we're given a lot of strategies today.
A couple, hopefully.
Yeah. We've got more to come, more to share. Stay with us here on Strategies for Living. We'll be right back. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com. And welcome back. Glad you're back with us here on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, and Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. We're talking about how do you, we all get that way. We all get the feeling.
I just don't feel with it.
Yeah.
I don't feel connected. I feel so
I'm unplugged.
almost alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking ways to get plugged back in. We're talking ways to get reconnected today here on Strategies for Living.
This is an interesting topic because I often kind of hypothesize the idea.
Yeah.
I like the hypothesis that the opposite of addiction
Yep.
is connection.
Yeah, I know. You and I have talked about
We
that a lot.
floated that, yeah.
And I'd like to know more about that. We ought to think about doing a program on that, because I think that is a very interesting idea that has been written about, and not overwhelmingly so.
No, I think it needs a little more. I think it could use more PR, if you will.
Yeah. Well, maybe this next one, maybe you can get creative. Getting creative expression, any kind of creative expression, is a way to get plugged back in. So art, music, writing, all of those offer ways to express your thinking and emotions that otherwise can be hard to put into words.
Yeah.
I mean, we've shared this, a few times before, but you started a journal. You put your money where your mouth is. You've started a journaling practice, and you do it every day.
I do.
And you start your day with it.
Yeah, and it is.
And what difference does it make?
I can't put it into words.
Yeah.
It's so phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been the best way for me to reconnect with myself every day. It has been the most important routine self-care that I could have given myself.
And I thank you that you choose to share it with me most every day. I mean, we don't, we some days go by and we let two or three, you have to catch me up. But it's interesting because whoever you're communicating with out there is shockingly profound.
Yeah.
And, I suspect
I'm humbled by what comes through.
Yeah.
Quite frequently.
Yeah. And it's
shocked.
And it's like, whoa, you were talking to Neil Donald Walsh, who, wrote a lot of the Conversations with God books.
Yes.
Which for me were phenomenal when I found those books and began to read those books. And, he talks about his continuing practice, and you guys started talking about he called them, and you agreed, bring-throughs.
Yeah, my
your
word,
bring-throughs every day. Yeah. So.
What we bring through to the world. And, getting creative in any form can be so, so, so powerful, especially, I'm going to put this, if you can get your logical, rational, egoic mind out of the way.
Yeah.
Just really, if you can focus on the creating for the creative sake of creation,
right.
The process as opposed to some goal. Now, for me, I enjoy being creative in different ways, but I find certain ways more easier for me to get the logical brain out of the way. In other ways, I feel like I still need more structure. And so I try to cultivate those ways that I can really let go and allow the subconscious to come through.
Yeah.
And especially in those times, those moments where I do feel disconnected, because becoming creative connects you.
It's cathartic.
And it's interesting because this is rooted in our history, right?
Yep.
Like, there's a reason ancient artists didn't even claim their work on occasion, right?
Yeah.
They said it was the muses, or there was some kind of spiritual beyond them force that came through, that they couldn't even claim ownership of what had come through them onto the canvas or into the instrument or onto the page, right?
Right.
And there's a reason for that, I believe. I truly believe and have experienced that myself.
Yeah. The studies show that any kind of creative expression, particularly through the visual art, we are so, we're visual folks, most of us, right?
It is a primary sense.
It is. And if you're having any kind of issues with grief, bereavement,
any kind of large emotion that words are incapable of encapsulating,
then the creative expression can be a way to help you reconnect, get
'Cause I think
plugged back in, even with lost loved ones.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all had that experience at some point, whether it's through music or a visual art or watching someone dance or watching some artist perform their work or engaging with their art. We've been moved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the spirit moving.
Absolutely.
And there's even scientific brain proof, right? That it shifts us into a different mode of the brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it works hand in hand.
Right. Another thing you might consider to reconnect, and here's one that maybe we haven't mentioned before. Maybe we're going to mention it more. I know we are. Energy healing.
Yeah.
So what in the
Absolutely.
world am I talking about with energy healing? Well, energy healing is about connecting to yourself, promoting balance and harmony inside of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Now, we have a new sponsor.
Yes, we do.
On Strategies that
and she
has
is
opened up.
primarily energy healing.
She is an energy healer, Stacy Slayball, over at the Balanced Life Wellness Center. And if you haven't, you've probably been hearing, the commercials here on Strategies. I hope you have. She's over next to Strawn's, next to across from Centenary College.
You can't miss it.
No, it's 117 Kings Highway. And she does biotuning, biofield tuning, which is a vibrational sound type of therapy. She does bioenergetics, which is, and this stuff, she's got a way that when you come in that she can assess energetically what's going on. And she'll explain it all to you.
Yeah, well, and something I love about Stacy is that she is rooted, she is scientifically minded.
Yes.
And so, if you have any questions, she's one who's going to really embrace those questions and help you, guide you to the scientific evidence.
And the neat thing is the feedback that she's getting from people.
Oh, yeah.
And how, there's a prophet is never respected in their own hometown, right?
Absolutely.
When Stacy was on, she told a story of her mama, and I think if I'm remembering it right, it was her mom's knees that were giving her problem.
I think you're right.
That's exciting. But when Mom got the first energy, healing session and felt what she felt, she's been back again and again and again. And so, it makes a believer out of you.
True skeptic turned believer.
Yeah. So, I mean, the energy healing can improve. And there's all types of energy healing available. Again, Balanced Life, Stacy has opened up, but there's also in town there are a couple of places you can get acupuncture. That's an energy. Reiki is a form of energy healing. You and I have done biomagnetic pair therapy.
Yes.
And you use it almost daily.
Yes,
I
do.
When you feel a pain, now you know where to put a pair of magnets.
Well, and I've gotten to the point where I just ask my body where it needs, and that's
and
part
it's
of
amazing.
reconnecting with myself.
It's amazing the results that you get.
It truly is. And the thing about energy healing is it's all energy. Right?
Right.
And so therefore, when you really...
And we're energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we can intellectually understand that, but there's something about experiencing some form of energy healing and really recognizing it for what it is and what's going on that allows you to say, whoa, okay, this is real, and... it's truly all connected. If we're all energy, we are all connected through this form of energy, through waveforms.
Absolutely. And so, if you want to try it, just know that the Balanced Life is there, and that'd be a great place to try it out. And Stacy would be a wonderful practitioner connect with and let you feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
One way to start just recognizing energy is to play with the energy ball.
Oh, yeah.
Just hold your hands together and begin to feel the energy radiating from your palms.
I first did that on this very radio program.
Oh, really?
Many years ago, I had a life strategist on by the name of Eric Pearl, and I think his book, if I'm remembering right, it was The Reconnection. I may be wrong on that, but it was Eric Pearl, and he took us through.
Yeah.
And I'm like I'm doing right now. I'm here in front of the microphone, and he's taking us through, and I felt it. I felt the energy as he instructed, and then he had us stretch it, and play with it.
Yeah.
The playfulness. I mean, kind of neat stuff.
It is. Another one you just made me remember is of course Qigong or Tai Chi, or also they're not exactly energy healing, but they're ways of moving energy and then healing yourself through the movement and allowance of energy through your body.
There have been studies that have found statistically significant improvements after energy healing sessions. Positive emotions, pain reduction, anxiety reduction, depression reduction, and just an overall well-being, an overall sense of well-being. Talk about reconnecting, talk about plugging back in. Who doesn't want that?
That's energy, right?
That's exactly
it's an
right.
energy connection.
So we're talking today, here on Strategies for Living, because we do take growth serious on Strategies for Living. So we're talking about, when we feel disconnected, how do we connect back in? What are the strategies that we use to connect back in? We're talking about some of those today here on Strategies for Living, and we've got more to share with you. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back. Come back with us. Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's. thebalancedlife.us. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking about reconnecting today. We all have had that experience that we feel we don't feel plugged in. We don't feel connected. How do you reconnect? And how do you plug back in? We're talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. Nature. Immersing yourself in nature.
Amen.
Yeah, I had a life strategist several years ago that proposed we don't have an attention deficit problem as much as we have a nature deficit problem.
So true.
And he was talking about kids, not so many kids, such a large percentage of the population of young people don't get to experience nature. And, nature, immersing yourself in some form of nature helps you connect because it connects you to a tranquil environment.
For so many reasons. You know, I mean, one of the first that pops into my head is the idea that we are nature. So,
Yeah.
of course, when we go out, we're reconnected because we belong there. We are made of carbon and all of the same things that the grass, the trees, the birds are all made of. It's
Absolutely.
all part of us.
The beauty and the serenity of nature can evoke feeling. We were talking about feelings of awe earlier, but awe and wonder that promotes your contemplation of where am I in the world,
Yeah.
and what is my relationship to all of this, the whole. You know, that's where we get the word holy, you know,
Right, because it's whole.
because it's whole,
The
it's everything.
wholeness.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other idea makes me think of kind of leading off of the idea that we just talked about, which was energy healing.
Right.
Is the idea that, as human beings, as we are electromagnetic, we produce an electromagnetic field
Right, no doubt.
and current, right?
Right.
And part of that, so does the earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
At the core of the earth
Yeah, well-
is a magnetic sphere, right?
Right. Well, it produces a magnetic,
Right,
an electromagnetic field that we're always in and immersed in. And so when we go outside, and I think especially studies have shown, right, when we're able to make contact with the earth in some way,
Right,
you know,
right.
barefoot or put your hand to the ground, the electricity is allowed to flow through.
Yeah.
Like a current, and it's a discharge of all of this extra ions that we collect throughout the day
Yeah.
by dealing with the electronics and wearing rubber shoes which don't conduct electricity.
Yep, they block it.
Right.
Yep. So being in nature reduces it. You know, makes sense that then it reduces stress.
Yeah, because it's a
reduces
literal
anxiety.
discharge
Yeah.
of excess energy. You're able to literally
You
ground
can clear your
yourself.
mind, and you
Yeah.
can feel the mind clearing. You can feel the focus on your inner thoughts and feelings going up, right?
Yes.
You're tuning in. That's literally tuning in. Aligning your actions with your values. You know, contemplate, reflect. What truly matters to you in life? You know, I'm thinking about the quote that I've heard so many times in varying way, expressed in varying ways.
Yes.
Nobody, you know, at the, you know, on their deathbed, nobody regrets that they didn't spend more time at the office.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about the connections. And, you know, no one is in charge of your experience except you.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, aligning your actions with your values. And you know, maybe there are people that would value the work
Sure.
that they bring into
Yeah,
the world.
yeah.
So I'm not putting that down at all. But aligning your actions with your values brings this deep sense of purpose, this deep sense of authenticity.
Right.
You know?
Well, and it allows you to be you full, right?
I love that.
Be
I love
you
that.
full, beautiful.
That's something that came through
Yeah,
in
it
your
is.
writing.
Yeah, that's
be
what
you full.
They've emphasized that before.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, for instance, for a lot of people, your family, their family is a core value. But the work, you know, work commitments interfere with family time, important family time. Well, maybe you can reconsider and reevaluate the balance, you know, your work-life balance. Maybe, you know, we talk a lot about boundary setting. So maybe setting some boundaries, maybe delegating tasks, maybe scheduling, putting your regular family activities on the schedule. Maybe any of those can help you align your life with if family values are something that's important to you.
And that very well may be, but here's the other issue I might pose here is that in order to really connect with yourself, again, you've got to know yourself, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
so in order to align your your behaviors, your actions with your values, you got to know what you value.
Yeah.
And you've
Yeah.
got to be willing and give yourself permission to question the values that have been handed to you, because everyone's been handed values by society and by
Oh, yeah.
the upbringing that
Your
you've had,
family, your parents
your
and
teachers,
grandparents, your
whoever
teachers.
surrounded you.
Yeah, if you were raised up in a church, I mean, all of that is offered to you, but it's important for you to take it and wrestle with it and make it yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gratitude, expressing gratitude, practicing gratitude can plug you back in.
I don't think there's any better way, quicker, easier way to start connecting with yourself and the greater world.
Well, we all want the quick way, so you're saying this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is truly it. There is no faster, easier way to connecting with yourself and the greater world and the world beyond that
And
than gratitude.
You know, Lauren, there's a reason for that
Mm-hmm.
because it prompts you, it focuses you on reflecting on and appreciating the positive aspects of your life.
Right.
I mean, we can always come up with negative stuff, right? But when you focus on the positive, that can enhance your understanding of what you really value, what your priorities are, and your emotional self. There was a study that was conducted in Japan. It wasn't a huge study, it was a small study.
Okay.
But it indicated that those who regularly practice gratitude experience more personal growth. They experienced more improved relationships with others and a stronger sense of purpose in life. Those are pretty important things.
And you know what's a really fun way to practice this that you can just go out
What's
and
that?
do any in your daily life, right?
What's that?
The wild thing is that for whatever reason, we're all placed here on earth at the same time for whatever reason.
Yep.
So that's incredible in and of itself. So to
Yep.
practice gratitude in the store, in the checkout line, by finding one thing you're grateful for by each person who passes by. You know, if there's a family who's laughing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thankful for their laughter,
And
right?
if I'm standing in line, I don't have to mention the stores. We all know the ones with the large checkout line.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
We need
We
you
need
know,
that
we
practice
need
of
that
gratitude
practice
in
yeah.
that moment.
And it'll make standing in
I
that line.
appreciate that lady's smile. I
Yeah,
appreciate
there
her
you go.
haircut. I mean, it's just those little bits and it bubbles.
Strategies for what to do in the line and when you feel disconnected. Talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. We will be back. More strategies to come. Stay with us. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. You know, I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with LearningRx Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, LearningRx Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call LearningRx Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does LearningRx Shreveport.
And welcome back. Welcome back into 1017 FM, 710 Keel and Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking about how easy it is to feel disconnected and talking about ways to reconnect with ourselves. I mean, stress is in the world. There's a lot of chronic stress. There's grief. Grief and loss is all around us. Just a monotony. Not being able to feel like we can express ourselves, let alone the substances that we can get involved with, whether we're talking alcohol or drugs. I mean, there's a lot out there that can blunt us. Mental health disorders, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, illness, trauma, big T and little t trauma. All of that can lead to a sense of disconnection, if you will.
Yeah.
And you don't have to stay there.
No, you don't. And for me, this might help other people too, but for me, it's being able to remember that I'm only able to experience disconnection because I am connected.
Yeah.
It's that remembrance that helps me to bring me back, and then I can follow through on some of these practices.
Absolutely. It's
to
deeply
continue.
it's a deeply personal journey.
Well, yeah, because you're connecting with self.
Yeah, it's about self-awareness. It's about self-compassion. It's about a willingness to explore your emotional self and your thinking self, your thoughts and emotions. And, it's an ongoing process. It's not something that you have to do, that you do once and done. It's ongoing.
Right.
But I can tell you this, I can promise you this, it's worth it.
Yes, it is.
It's worth it.
It is so worth it. There's a world beyond your knowing.
Absolutely. Lauren, thank you. Folks, thank you for being with us here on Strategies for Living, because we talk every day here about creating a life that makes you excited to wake up every day. And we appreciate our sponsors that make that possible, make this program possible. The Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Learning RX, and Pintail Roofing,
Roof.
and the Balanced Life Wellness Center. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time, right here on Strategies for Living.